Still about 1 minute. And it is now 6:30. Welcome to the call, everybody. Thank you for being here. Listen, include the dinging because we will have people coming in late, and I don't know how to turn off the dings. So you'll hear those, and I just ask you to include it and not let it interfere with the call. So good evening and welcome. Welcome to the first call of 2015. For those of you who are on the call for the first time, or maybe some people who don't even know who I am, I'm Thomas Kuster. I'm the author and presenter of Partners for Life. I'm the author and presenter of The Stages of Love, and new for 2015, The Stages of Life. So thank you for the privilege. Thank you for the opportunity to serve you, the opportunity to play with you and to expand on what we think is possible for ourselves and possible for our relationships. It's really an honor, and I'm deeply moved to be on this call with you. Now, in about 15 seconds, I'm going to mute the call so that you don't have to worry about background noise. A little later, towards the middle of the call, I'll be unmuting to give those of you an opportunity to share and talk if you want to do that. And then at the end of the call, I'll open the lines again to complete the call. So I'm muting now, so give me a second. Okay, very good. So tonight, we're looking at personal growth, or said another way, personal development as an access to satisfaction and fulfillment. So what is personal growth? What is personal development? Well, personal development, as I'm using it here, is where you or I focus on one of the 7 areas for an extraordinary life given by the Life Mastery Pyramid for a defined period of time with a specific outcome. Now, I said a mouthful there, okay? So in a nutshell, for those of you who don't know, the 7 areas that are indicated by the Life Mastery Pyramid are the physical body, the emotional body, relationships, time and productivity, career, finances, and spirituality, which, by the way, includes celebration and contribution. So personal development is a lifelong process. And many of the people that you know, some of us on the call, some of your family members, many of us throw in the towel. We develop ourselves personally, we grow, and then we grow up, and then we throw in the towel. We give up on self-development for various reasons. And by the way, it's not like they're bad reasons. Chances are they're very good reasons, but we generally don't get the connection between developing important areas of oneself to satisfaction and fulfillment in our lives and in our relationships. It's a way for you and I to assess our skills. It's a way for us to assess our qualities, to consider our aims in life, and set goals in order to realize and maximize our overall potential. Perhaps the most important realization that an individual can make in their quest for personal growth is that there's no single formula that defines the path. We all have different goals. We all have different priorities, which means that different activities and attitudes will make us feel good about ourselves and our couples. How then, as individuals, can we reach the next best level of ourselves? How can we as couples reach the next best level of our relationships, our marriages, our partnerships? Well, first of all, understanding what's important to you and then developing core competencies around what's important to you is key. We all have a different ideal of what it means to be satisfied and fulfilled. Therefore, self-awareness, and if you're taking notes, write down self-awareness. Self-awareness is one common core competency that will support all of us, anybody on the call, anybody who listens to this call, in achieving the outcomes that you define. So over the year of 2015, this upcoming year, as I develop this series of calls, we'll focus on one of our core competencies and develop them for 1 month. So this month, we're taking on self-awareness. So that is between now, today, January 15th, and our next call scheduled February 19th at 6:30 p.m. Write it down, put it in your calendar, put the phone number where you can get to it, because next month we'll take on the next core competency. So self-awareness, what is it? What is self-awareness? Self-awareness is having a clear perception of your personality, including your strengths, your weaknesses, your thoughts, your beliefs, your motivation, and your emotions. Self-awareness allows you to understand other people, understand how they perceive you, your attitude, and your response to them in the moment. This is an important point to make for our couples and for the important relationships in our lives. We might quickly assume that we are self-aware. I mean, think about it. Think of who's on this call. Most of the people on this call are people who actually take on self-development as a general practice. Some of you have been away for a while and you're jumping back in, whatever. So we could quickly assume that we're all self-aware just because we've done so many things or that we're so conscious. But it's helpful to give you a relative scale for awareness. Most everybody has been in some kind of an accident, or you know somebody who's been in some kind of an accident. But if you've been in some kind of an accident, you may have experienced everything happening in slow motion, and then noticing details of your thought process and the event. This is a state of heightened awareness. With practice, we can learn to engage these types of heightened states and see new opportunities for interpretations in our thoughts, in our emotions, and in our conversations, especially with our significant others or important relationships in your life. Now, starting February 6th, it's a Saturday, 10 a.m. till noon, I'll start conducting a monthly webinar for 5 months, working on this element. It's $149 for the web only, and if you're local, that is in Sacramento. We'll be doing a live workshop on the second Thursday of the month, and that's $275, and it gives you both. You can go to the website to learn more, or you can call me, 916-459-5704. Why develop self-awareness? As you develop self-awareness, you're able to make changes in the thoughts and interpretations you make in your mind. Now listen closely. Changing the interpretations in your mind allows you to change your emotions. Now, for those of you who have been in the workshops, one of the things that you know is key is that the emotional body has no language. So accessing it takes a lot of different little things to do. And this one aspect will impact your emotions and the emotional body, which then impacts your relationships. Self-awareness is one of the attributes of emotional intelligence and an important factor in achieving the kind of satisfaction and fulfillment that we're talking about. Having self-awareness allows you to see where your thoughts and emotions are taking you, and then where it's taking your couple or where it's taking your other important relationships. It also allows you to see the controls of your emotions, the controls of your behavior, the controls of your personality, so that you can make the changes that you want. But until you're aware in the moment of those controls through your thoughts, those controls through your emotions, your words, your behavior, you will have difficulty, extreme difficulty making changes in the direction of your life, and difficulty in making changes in the direction of your couple. Now, let's move into where we might use this core competency, self-awareness. You see, so many times, and I want you to look for yourself, we're hung up on somebody else's ideal of what's important. And we are so unaware of what's truly important to us, to me. In my coaching calls with people, I ask, what do you want? What's important to you? Why is this important to you? And it's something to answer those questions. This isn't making those people wrong. This is simply giving you an image of what it is for all of us. We really are unaware. Sometimes we'll say X is important to us, but if we examine it, we realize it's only important to us because somewhere along the line, either somebody we loved, respected, or our culture determined that it should be important. Tapping into what's truly important to you will make you feel alive. If we spend our time and our effort trying to meet somebody else's ideal, then we find ourselves exhausted and unhappy. So many couples, they do this to each other. They lay their ideals on the partner in a way that isn't for the couple. They might think it's for the couple. They might even pretend or say it's for the couple, but it's an illusion. It's an individual trying to get the other one to fit the image they created of them. Realizing what's truly important to you is a major step towards creating what you will strive for, and then the striving for providing you with a satisfaction for being alive and access to having our lives be an exciting game. A game that we play together. A game that includes your couples and all your important relationships. Part of my generating these calls every month is to give each of us a kind of group to participate with in making life as fun as possible. Because you see, as I see it, whoever has the most fun wins. And no matter what you take on, what you create as an outcome, there will be ups and downs in achieving them. As well, sometimes your efforts will not get you what you went for. But as a game, all of these ups and downs are included. But just like a championship athlete, you play to win. You put all of your efforts towards that which you are out to fulfill. And what are you out to fulfill? What does matter to you? What's important to you in January 2015? Now wake up. Some of you have drifted away. I know some of these things get some thinking going on and you branch off into another direction. So I'm going to bring you back. It's a rhetorical question. I want you to have the question, what are you out to fulfill? In the background, as I covered this part of our call. See, all the stuff I talked about, other people's ideals and your ideals. Tony Robbins refers to this as shoulds. That is, those things that seem imposed on us versus musts, M-U-S-T-S. Those things that we impose on ourselves when we take on something that really matters to us. So I want to say it again. Shoulds being those things that seem imposed on us versus musts, M-U-S-T-S, those things that we impose on ourselves when we take something on that really matters to us. Notice I didn't say anything about want, W-A-N-T-S. I didn't say anything about wants. Now I'm going to give you some examples of musts, M-U-S-T-S, that all of us can relate to. I'm just going to ask you to make sure that you're coming back, pay attention. For some of you, you must pay your bills. And therefore, you earn enough to pay your bills. For others, you must pay most of your bills. And you therefore pay most of your bills most of the time. And then others of you must make enough not only for yourself and your family, but for someone else that you care about or a cause that you believe in. So you find a way and earn enough. And then there's some of us that must have way more than what it takes for all that. You also want enough to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, the way you want to do it, and guess what? You find a way to do that. So what Robbins points to here that I think is brilliant is that you must shift your shoulds into musts. M-U-S-T-S. I spell it because I know the word doesn't sound like it when I say it. That is, if fulfilling on them matters to you. So you must shift your shoulds into musts if fulfilling on them really matters to you. Not a want, you understand. Wanting gives you more wanting. If you want and you're not getting, then it isn't yet a must for you, and your brain will not engage. When you consider the pyramid of mastery, those 7 areas that I mentioned, and how it looks in your life, however your pyramid looks, that is, your physical body, your emotional body, your relationships, your time and productivity, your finances, and your spirituality, however it looks, is a reflection of your musts, M-U-S-T-S, the result of all of your musts. And anything you tolerate or put up with over time in any of those 7 areas is a result that shows up in the pyramid of mastery for you, and as well impacts the quality of your life and the quality of your relationships. Now, again, I'm going to just say, make sure you come back, because in a few minutes, I'm going to open the line. So I want you to be listening closely now, okay? So the only way to truly impact or change any area of your life is to change your shoulds into musts. It's the only way to do it. Now I'm going to say it again. The only way to truly impact or change any area of your life is to change your shoulds into musts. It's the only way to do it. When it's a must, you find a way. And when it's a should, your brain simply doesn't engage. Changing your shoulds into musts raises your standards. So there's 3 principles here that I want you to have. Number 1, self-awareness is a key core competency to develop. Number 2, raise your standards. That is, change your shoulds into musts. Number 3, change your limiting beliefs. We've all set up goals before. We've all set up outcomes and gone after it, and we've all dealt with the internal battle, the internal dialogue, the voice in your head saying stuff like, oh, there's no way. Or saying stuff like, well, look at the past, how you've done something like this before. And look at all the failures that have followed you up to this point, perhaps. that kind of internal dialogue, that kind of thinking will have you stop the real action. That is the actions that will fulfill on what you're after. We therefore must get self-aware and stomp out the limiting beliefs. Now, how do we do that? Well, first of all, you're going to alter how you talk to yourself. You know, in my course, we use cancel, cancel. Every time we feed ourselves something that doesn't support what we really want, what we're really after, cancel, cancel. And then we recreate our conversation with ourselves. It's effective. It's not the only thing that's going to get you there, but it's effective as one aspect. Then create opportunities for small wins in the area that matters. Get the brain used to you winning a little bit in those areas. And thirdly, be around people who have already achieved what you're after. Listen, you've got to now pick and choose who you hang out with. You want to be around people that are after the same thing you're after and see it as a real possibility, or you want to be with people who have already done it and mirror their actions and ways of being. You don't want to dwell on your past. You don't want to even try to overcome your past. I'm telling you to defy your past. Defy it. Get radical about what's important to you. Give up the casualness. Hire a coach to mirror you back to yourself for a period of time until you can get a handle on your own self-awareness. Now, it's time for you guys to share a little bit, okay? And I know your heads are in 1,000 different places, which is good. I want to hear a few hundred of them. But here's the question that I have for you before I unmute the line. And by the way, how you share is you simply say your first name, and then I'll call on you. But give me a second. It's not unmuted yet. Here's the question. I'm going to give you a second to think about it. What are some of the shoulds in your life? We all have shoulds. I should lose 20 pounds. I should have a marriage. I should make more money. I should go off on my own. I should write a book. I should. All of us have shoulds, and I want to hear a few of yours. Give me a second. I'm unmuting. Okay. Oh, sorry, I took a drink. Okay, let me hear from somebody. Just say your first name. What are some of your shoulds?
Ron.
Brother Ron. Good to hear your voice.
Thank you, bro. I should exercise more.
Yes, you should. I've been telling you that for a long time. Very good, brother. any other shoulds you can see right off? It's okay if you don't. That's all right. Let me hear from somebody else. Come on, you guys.
Andrea.
Yes, please. Andrea.
I should lose weight. I should be able to create an Excel spreadsheet easily.
Good for you. Good for you. Come on, one more. Make this interactive, you guys. Don't sit back.
This
on
is
your
Doreen.
Laurels. Yes, Doreen.
I should walk 30 minutes a day.
Yes, and you should be in our next workshop. One more should. Come on, one more, please,
Jean.
somebody. Yes, Jean.
I should eat healthier food for my body.
There you go. Okay, we're going back to mute. Thank you for that, guys. So if you take a look at what everybody said with regard to their shoulds, you'll notice that every single one can be connected to the Life Mastery Pyramid. You can connect all of those shoulds to any one of those 7 areas that are on the pyramid. Now, here's what I want everybody to do. If you're driving, you'll have to do it in your head. But for those of you that are in a place where you can pick up a pencil and write a few things down for yourself, the work I'm giving you to do is impactful. When you hang up, there will be something there for you to latch onto, something for you to anchor on, something for you to deal with powerfully like a game. So what I want you to do is to take one or two of the shoulds that you distinguish for yourself, whatever they are. Take one or two of them. And now the game begins. Turn those shoulds into musts. So Doreen said, I should walk 30 minutes every day. Now, maybe if she takes a look at that, I should walk 30 minutes every day, and turns it into a must, it could be, now this will make you have to think, like, why must I? Why must I walk 30 minutes every day? Well, it'll get me closer to the body that I really want. It'll give me more energy and vitality. And energy and vitality is very important to me because I have my grandchildren. I want to see them grow up, and I want them to see their grandmother as vital. You know, some people call it a grandma instead of a grandma. You know, that might be a reason, a must for you. And then you turn it into a must. And when you must something, you do it. You find a way. So take a moment. I'm going to give you a moment. I'm actually going to shut up. I know it's a big surprise. Give you a moment to think it through. Why must you have that? I've unmuted, so if there's anybody who sees their must, just shout your name out and let me hear it.
Jean,
Yes, Jean.
I must eat healthier food every day because I want a healthy body.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else?
Is that what you're looking for?
Oh, that's what I'm looking for, but you know that I'm going to now coach you, right?
Yes.
Because it ain't what you just said won't change anything. Are you clear about that?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, you know, what you said was, I want a healthier body.
Yes.
Wanting gives you wanting. If you must eat healthier food, then you got to look at what is it that makes you must have that. Like, seriously, Gene, you can't be casual about this. You must dig in. You've got to get your feet really dug in, and you really got to look, like, what's it going to provide for you? If you have that body you're talking about, what's that going to provide for you? What's it going to provide for the people that you love and the people who love you?
Wow. You know, what comes up for me is I don't want to die early. I don't want to have pain.
Exactly. Now, see, listen, that is a powerful motivation. Those two things you just said bring emotion. So everybody listen up. In order to alter anything in your life, you, number one, have to have focus. Number two, you have to bring emotion to it. Now, Gene, can you feel some emotion when you said, I don't want to die young?
Yes.
I don't want to hurt.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in pain. There's some emotion around that. And number three, you then need to make promises. So for those of you who use a coach, those of you who hired me as a coach, those of you who don't have a coach but you have somebody you can trust to hold you accountable for your promises, you need to make promises consistent with what you're focused on, and then you take action. Okay, very good. Somebody else, what is the must? Now, don't be afraid. I am going to coach you, but that's part of the call, right? Gene, thanks for doing that. If we were clapping, we'd be clapping for you right now, okay? Okay, somebody else.
Lori.
Yes, Lori.
I must be successful.
Got it. Okay. Why?
In order to live the life I deserve.
Yeah. Okay.
To
dig in.
To live my dreams. To live my
live
dreams.
your dreams. Okay. Listen, not a bad first cut. Not a bad first cut, but there's no emotion there. See, think of it this way, Lori. You've said these things before. Maybe not the exact words. Just trust me on this. You may have said it to yourself. You may have written it down. You know, you tried to use some willpower to really be successful. But there's a couple things that are going to be a challenge for you. Number one, being successful is a concept and it's elusive. You can't get your hands around it. You know what I'm saying? So let's narrow that down real quick and let's say, okay, so Lori, if you were successful, what would that look like?
I would be relaxed.
That's how you'd feel. What would it look like?
It would look like paying my bills, living a life.
So your bills would get paid, and what else?
Traveling.
You'd be traveling.
My children.
Excellent. Would you be traveling in a car or a boat?
No.
Or a plane?
No. Plane.
You'd be on a plane, and would you go far away, or would you be going close?
Well, I go far.
Very good. Okay, so now you're starting to see a picture, right? And can you feel some emotion rising up in you? Yes. That tickles me. That tickles me. That's important to me. So now what I would do next, Lori, is I would put a dollar amount on it. Success equals X number of dollars a month. You don't have to share it with us if you don't want to, but you have to know what it is. If it's $10,000 a month, then success equals $10,000 a month. $10,000 a month has me pay my bills, and it lets me travel the way I want to travel. Whatever your number is, you get this?
Yes.
Now, what's already there when I say $10,000 a month? Tell the truth. What's already there in your brain?
Fear. Fear of failure.
There's fear, but there's something else. There's actually words. What are the words?
I don't know if I can do that.
That's right. And you don't know if you can do it, do you? Okay, good. So I'm going to leave you on that note. I'm going to now go back to mute. I'll be talking to you a little bit, but just hang tight, okay, Lori?
Okay.
Okay, good. So anybody who turned their shoulds into a must, I want you to notice something. And notice with the two people that I just interacted with, you just raised your standard in that area. Now get this. You will always meet your standard. You will always meet your standard. You want a different life? Raise your standards. And then give up being casual regarding the process. Play with other people. Hire a coach. Take this seriously. You want more communication in your couple? You want more understanding and love present? You want more or better intimacy? Get self-aware and quit focusing so much on your partner and other people and get inside your own head. Part of being inside your own head, Lori, has to do with the conversation that comes up, you guys, when we take something on and we start to turn it into a must. We have belief limitations, limiting beliefs, and they come from our past. For instance, I said a number to you, Lori, and your brain said to you, I don't know if I could do that. And I bet you if I were in your head, it wouldn't say, I don't know if I could do that. I think it would say something like, I can't do that. I've never done that before. Now, I don't know if you have or haven't. Okay, I just made up a number. But still, the number, if it's out of reach, the brain has something to say about it. And then that internal dialogue will stop the action. So the moment your brain says that to you, cancel, because you want to know why you can do it. I'm going to tell you why you can do it. Years ago, I was offered an interview in Los Angeles, California. And where I lived at the time was Raleigh, North Carolina. To give you an idea of Raleigh, North Carolina, I had a big house. It wasn't a house, actually. It was a townhome. It was big. I had 3 bedrooms. I had a nice backyard. I can't tell you how much square footage. It was like 2,000 square feet. It was beautiful. I bought that place for $58,000, okay? Now, they offered me this interview and fly me to Los Angeles, and I go to Los Angeles, and I get in that interview, and I win the interview, and I'm happy. So now it's time to move to Los Angeles. And they said to me, before you sign on the dotted line of taking this position, we set you up with a realtor so you can go out and look for a place to live. So I get in the car with this realtor, and she says, so how much do you have to spend? Well, I knew that I could sell my place for $80,000. And I thought, well, let's see. I'm in Los Angeles, and I'm sure it's more expensive, so it's probably twice as much. So I said to her, I could spend $150,000. Do you know that she turned off her car, and she turned and looked at me, and she said, now, you know what you're going to get for $150,000, don't you? And I said, no, I really don't. Okay, I'm going to fast forward this, okay? Everybody on the call already knows the kind of place I would have found in Los Angeles for $150,000, okay? Everybody on the call pretty well knows that, and I don't have to go through that whole story. I got on the airplane to fly back to Raleigh, North Carolina, and I was, no kidding, teared up just a little bit because I knew there was no possible way that I could move to Los Angeles. No way. I mean, the little bit of raise they were going to give me wouldn't cover my monthly nut. I couldn't survive. So I knew I was going to go back and turn down that job. So I'm in the airplane, and I'm flying, and my head's going a million miles a minute. And all of a sudden, I stopped, and I said, wait a minute. I always do this. Whenever, like, I worked really hard for this promotion. I gave it all I got. It was a dream. It was a goal, and I didn't stop until I got it. And then I got it. And daggone it, there's a lot of people who live here in Los Angeles, this was in my head, that don't make near the money that I'm going to make, and they're making it work. I can make it work too, and I'm going to do it. So I did. Now, it was by far the best choice I ever made in my life. But the choice to move to Los Angeles wasn't the best choice. Don't misunderstand me. It was the best choice. But what I'm pointing to is the best choice was the moment that I stopped my internal dialogue and I corrected it. And that's what I'm saying to you, Lori. You can do it. And you want to know why? Because there's hundreds of thousands of people who are already doing it, and they are not nearly as smart as you are. They don't have nearly the experience you have. They don't have the gumption that you have, and they don't have the motivation that you have. If they can do it, you can do it, and you just need mission control, that is the reticular activating system in your brain on your side to have it all come together. And that's your game, and I'm going to hold you to that game. I bet the others of you are glad you didn't say anything, aren't you? So now, we're going to be bringing the call to a close, and I just want to talk to you a little bit about accesses to self-awareness. So how do you access self-awareness? Well, there's lots of ways. Meditation is a great way. Yoga, a fantastic way. Walking meditation, which is my favorite, a great way. The Bliss Point exercise. Now, for those of you who don't know the Bliss Point exercise, it's available on my website under recorded calls, www.stagesoflove.com, and click on recorded calls, and you'll see the Bliss Point. Just click on it, and you can listen to it. It's a short call, but it will explain the Bliss Point exercise, which is an awesome exercise. And for those of you who got trained in it and you let it fall by the wayside, I request you put it back in starting tonight. Transformational work, a great way to become self-aware. Heart and brain connection coaching, which is the coaching I do, great way to get self-aware. Be on my free calls every month. Go back and listen to the recorded calls. Great way to get you self-aware. So the theme of the year is creating the next best version of ourselves, the next best version of our couples, the next best version of our lives. Get on board. Take this seriously. As you practice becoming more self-aware, inquire into what it would look like being the next best version of yourself. What would your couple look like as the next best version? Write it down. Don't wait. And don't wait on your partners to make a move.